Joining us to discuss where the euro is headed is Keagan York. He's head of foreign exchange strategy at Compass Global Markets. Keagan York, thanks a lot for joining us. Well, you know, what are we pricing in now? We're at the sharp end of all this, and perhaps we're going to have a resolution one way or the other.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at the falls continuing, but we do see a base forming between 138.50 and 139 in the next probably week or two. And these underlying problems with the Greece crisis is just still continuing, and we don't expect that to change.
Well, you know, if we breach 140, some technicians say, well, we could see a significant drop at that point. What's your view?
We do see the pair falling a little bit lower, but let's be fair, the ECB is not going to let it continue to slide. They want a strong dollar, a strong euro. That's the whole idea of the euro to begin with. They want it strong, they want it stabilised. They wouldn't want to be scaring off any more of the global markets. If this were to happen with a slide and a big fall, then you're going to see problems spread globally, and the risk would be for the recovery of the global economy. You know, we only were just starting to see it recover, and then these ugly pieces of information and Greece and Portugal and that sort of stuff have slowed it down, and we've seen that having an effect in the US. If we see Europe and the US both start to fall, then we could be in for a real tough time globally.
Keagan, which way is this Greek crisis going to be resolved? Are we going to get the IMF, the ECB, all eventually stumping up the money, the $20 billion that they need?
What else can they do? You know, they're going to have to, you know, draw a line in the sand and say, look, we have to be more proactive in this. Trichet's comments the other day saying that he was going to just let it sort of work its process through. It needs to be expedited. You know, we can't have this in the global markets. We don't want another GFC. I don't think anybody can afford that at the moment. With local investors and international investors very wary at the moment of doing anything, you know, it's going to be a hard process to recover from, you know, if they get burnt twice in such a short period of time.
What about who's next? I mean, we get perhaps this being sorted out, and then do all eyes then turn to the likes of Ireland, Portugal, or even Spain?
Well, they've already got their problems, and you know, they're still in a situation of sorting themselves out. I'd be more fearful of it actually spreading to a bigger area like France, for instance. You know, if the French had problems, then you know, I'd say it's the beginning of the end, unfortunately.
Right, okay, well, of course there's no mechanism to be able to leave the euro, is there? So that proves to be a very difficult thing for the likes of the Greeces of this world, or even Ireland.
You know, as a former trader, I'd love to see them split back up and get the 15 currency pairs back, but you know, that's a dream. You know, I don't think that will ever actually happen.
Thanks for that, Keagan York. They're joining us there from Sydney, just having a look at what's happening with this Greek financial crisis right now, and indeed how that plays out and its impact that we've been seeing on the euro. Right.